Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to go from this to this. So in today's video I'll be showing you my full coverage foundation routine for oily skin, which is the skin I have. It's oily to combination with a little dry patches sometimes just on spots, but mainly oily. For girls who just want to keep their makeup in place, they can't really hack dewy foundations but want to have like a nice glow to the skin. That is my kind of vibe. So if you want to see how to create it, then please carry on watching and I shall show you how. But before you do, please hit the subscribe button down below. It would mean the absolute world and I shall be hoping you enjoy this video. So I'm just going to push my hair out of my face. Then to start off with, I like to use a hydrating mist to really add some moisture to the skin. I've already moisturised my skin with the Superdrug Vitamin E SPF 15 Day Cream. I've already let it soak into my skin for about 10-15 minutes. Then I'm going to spritz on this Vitamin E Hydrating Mist, also from Superdrug. As you can see, I've already used half of it. I got this in my Superdrug haul and I'm absolutely obsessed. I love it, it's so good. So I'm just going to give it a shake and spray this on. Then once that's sprayed on, I just like to take my hands and just give it a really good fan until it's basically dry. It feels so refreshing on the skin as well, especially for the summertime. That's basically dry, it's a little bit tacky. Then we're going to go in with another spray. This is the Primark Primer Water. I really enjoyed this stuff, I think it's so good. Just give it a good old shake and spray that on as well. And again, just take my hands to give it a good fan dry. So once that's done, I'm really going to prime the skin. So I'm taking the PS Insta Selfie Ready Blur Primer from Primark. This stuff is only £5. It's really similar to the Benefit Professional Primer or the Smashbox Photo Finish. It's like a silicone primer that like makes your skin look nice and airbrush and ready for foundation. So I'm just going to squeeze some of this out onto my fingertips and then kind of like rub it together on my fingertips, and then I'm going to start by massaging it into the centre of the face. This stuff really does go a long way. And then I'll bring it onto the chin as well. Just because I have a lot of texture on my chin, it will really help to kind of like fill in that area and make it look more smooth. Then I'll bring it through the middle of the brow and then into the middle of my forehead where I've got a few fine lines. This is just going to make your makeup look a lot smoother as well, and it's really good for just making it last a lot longer. Now we're going to go on to the actual foundation. As you can see, I'm a lot paler than usual because my fake tan has come off. So my favourite foundation is the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation, but this is a lot darker than my skin tone. So I'm going to mix it with a tiny bit of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless 120 foundation just to lighten it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just do the Instagrammy thing and squeeze a little bit. I'll start with my cheeks, I'll do my forehead after, and my chin, catch it before it drips everywhere. And then I'm going to take the Maybelline Fit Me foundation as well, squeeze some of that out. Oh, it kind of looks the same colour. It looks lighter in the bottle. So we'll make it work. We will make it work. We will make this work because we're just going to blend it down the neck and it will work. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge just to blend it out, just starting working it around the skin. Then I'm going to go in with more of the foundation just on my forehead and then slowly bringing it down the neck as well. Even if your foundation isn't too dark for you, it's definitely worth bringing it down to the neck. That way it just helps to blend it in better, and if you take photos you're not going to have like an orange line across your neck. Then once it's all blended into the skin, I just like to take the Beauty Blender or Miracle Complexion Sponge and just go over the whole of the face to really push it into the skin. This is really going to help to stop your foundation from looking cakey even though you've applied such a full coverage. Then I'm going to move on to cream contour and bronzer. So I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mink Stick to Flawless Foundation Stick. You can use anything like this. It's like a foundation stick or a darker concealer. Anything like that will work. So what I'm going to do is take the stick foundation, go under my cheekbones, around the temples. That's going to make my cheekbones look more prominent. Around my forehead. It's just going to make everything look a lot more shapeful. Also around here, like so. And then I'm also going to take a little bit just under my jawline. It's going to make it look a little bit more chiseled, a little bit under that like double chin section. Then under my lip, which will make it look poutier, on the tip of my nose, and then down at these sides of my nose. I like to do this first because anything where I go in too heavy-handed I can always fix up with concealer. Then to blend it out, I like to take my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Just like to start by blending it under my jaw in little circular motions. I absolutely love this brush for blending out my cream contour. I find because it's so fat and dense, it really doesn't like move my foundation around my face, whereas I feel like if I was taking a little one it would like kind of swirl it around. I don't know, this just works perfectly for me. Then I'm going to blend under my lip as well. and also around the tops of my forehead. I like to pull towards the hairline because that's where you want the product to kind of go. You don't want it to go forward into the middle of your forehead, so try not to blend like that and blend that way. I'll just pull the product backwards. And then to blend under the cheekbone, I like to start from the front of it, pulling upwards and just working my way back. You be careful not to blend it too far downwards because then you'll have a really muddy contour. Then I'm going to blend the tip of my nose, and then the sides. I like to kind of blend this bit out here. Again, I'm pulling inward because you don't want the contour to go too far that way because it will just make your nose look wider. And if you're contouring, it's probably not the look that you're going for. Okay, now that's kind of blended into the skin, it does look a little bit muddy, so we need to fix it with some concealer. The concealer I'll be using is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Concealer in the shade Light. They've changed the name of this a couple times, so it gets a bit confusing. It used to be like the Age Rewind Concealer. But you basically just click it up, and then you want to take it under the eyes to really brighten that area. If you don't like the sponge, you can just take it off. For under the eyes, I like to bring it out in a triangle to about here. Just like an upside down triangle, and this will really help to brighten up the under eye. Then on to the forehead, I'm going up in a line, up in another line like so. Just like an upside down triangle right there. That's just going to brighten the area and make everything look a lot more even rather than just having really bright under eyes and nothing bright on the rest of the face. Then I'm also going to take it down at the centre of the nose, applying a really light pressure. Then above my lip and on my chin like so. Now because this concealer does go a long way, I kind of use this sponge to like blend it out. So like where I have some blemishes here, I'll kind of bring it outwards a little bit, but the main focus will be on the middle of the chin. So to blend it out, you'll need a wet Miracle Complexion sponge. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but you need to wet it. It expands and this will stop it absorbing all of your product and just make it look a lot more like flawless on your skin. So if you want to blend out the centre of the chin, just using dabbing motions, and then just bring it outwards if you have any blemishes. Then blend out the top of the lip and then the centre of the forehead. Then I'm going to squeeze it together and just blend out the centre of the nose, and then I'll flip the sponge this way around so I've got the pointy end, and then I'll just go right under my eyes like so. So now we're all foundationed up and we've got like that canvas going. We need to add like colour, texture, luminosity, all of that kind of stuff to the skin. The first product for that I'll be taking is the PS Primark Strobing Highlighter Cream in the shade Champagne. This stuff will last you forever and it was only £2, a complete bargain. So I'm just going to take this on the tip of the Real Techniques sponge. You can use your finger if you want, but I prefer this method. I think it just works it more evenly into the skin. And I'm just going to really lightly dot that onto my cheekbone and the other cheekbone as well. Just trying to even it out a little bit, and then what I'll do is just squeeze the sponge together so it's a lot flatter. Just blend it out. What this is going to do is add some luminosity to the skin before you even apply powder, so that way when you apply like your highlighter on top, it will just add some real nice luminosity and also make the highlighter last a lot longer. Now onto powder highlighter. So I always apply my powder highlighter before my face powder, just because I want that to be the most intense, and you're going to get the most intense finish by applying it straight on top of the highlighter cream and not on top of the face powder in between. You want to kind of sandwich it so it really sticks and it's really vibrant. So my favourite highlighter is the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter with Amrezy. Just look at this highlight, like it is unreal. It's so freaking pretty. I love it. I've already kind of like done a little layer in it. Like, oh, it's just so gorgeous, and I feel like it will suit any skin tone. It's like a goldy kind of highlight, but it doesn't look bad on pale skin because even when I've applied it when I have pale foundation on, it looks gorgeous. The brush I'll be using for this is the 134 Luxe Powder Fusion brush from Zoeva. It's perfect for highlighting and fits the area perfectly. So to make your highlighter really intense, you want to spray the brush with a spray of your choice. I'm taking the Revelation Pro Fix setting spray. I said that really weirdly, but you knew what I meant. Just going to spray the brush. What this is going to do is kind of get rid of that powder effect that the powder highlighter would have. It makes it last longer, it makes it stick to the skin longer, and it just makes it look more intense. So what I'm going to do is go straight into the highlighter, picking up a generous amount of product, like so. Then I'm going to not tap off the excess, shock, and then I'm going to apply this directly to that cheekbone. Just look how luminous that looks. Like, you could be blinded looking at this highlight. You want to see it from space. So you just want to use little tickly motions to apply it to the tops of your cheekbones, like so. Just apply it till your heart is content. I want a really intense highlight, so that's what I am going for. Then you want to set all of your hard work into place. I'm taking the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. This is in the shade Transparent on my Primark powder brush. This is just nice and fat and really covers the whole face. Just going to swirl it into the product and tap off the excess. Then I'm going to press it into the skin, focusing on the chin area just because I have a lot of blemishes there and I really want to make them like set in place with the foundation. As you notice, I will be avoiding directly on top of that highlight area. So there's no point applying that beautiful highlight then covering up with pressed powder. Applying it to the middle of my forehead, down the centre of my nose. And then I'll go like this in the powder to coat the sides of the brush, and then squish the powder brush together and go under my eyes and also on my eyelid as well. Usually I've done my eyeshadow first, but because I haven't, I just want to set the concealer in place. Now onto contour. I'll be taking the Nip and Fab contour kit in the shade Light. This is very similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kits. So I'm starting off with the shade here, which is called Ginger. Yeah, Ginger, which is right here. This is the warmer shade. I feel like because I applied such a cool cream contour, I want to add a little bit of warmth to the face. So I'm taking this shade right here, and I'll be taking this on my MAC 109 Duo Fiber brush, which is super old, all the text is rubbed off, but I will leave a link for everything down below. So I'm just going to take the product on the tip of the brush and tap off the excess. And then I'm going to start by contouring under my cheekbone. As you can see where I've put that cream contour, you can kind of see the definition. So if you struggle to find your cheekbone, just kind of go and you will find where to put it. Try not going right in the hollows of the cheeks, because what you'll end up doing is actually bringing it downwards. You want to bring it upwards. So try and go slightly above, not like dramatically, but just a teeny bit, and that way the excess product will fall into the hollows of your cheeks. You'll see what I mean. Then I'm going to bring it up to the sides of the temples as well in little swirly motions. This is going to help when you apply bronzer later on. Then I'm also going to contour the top of my forehead. I'm basically setting into place everything. So everything cream onto my face is set in place with the powder. So the cream contour I'm setting in place with the powder contour and so forth. This will really increase the longevity of your makeup, so I highly recommend you do this if you're struggling with your makeup lasting. You need to kind of create a sandwich between the skin, your makeup, then another layer to really set it in place. Just taking this under my jawline now, like I'm using a very light hand. Just the excess product. This is going to help to give my jawline a little bit of a stronger jawline. Then I'll take a teeny bit under my lip as well, and also down these sides of my nose. I don't tend to contour my nose massively, but I'm just doing a little bit just to add some sort of shape to the face. Then if you want a super flawless finish, this step is definitely optional and not necessary at all, but it really does help, is to take a banana-y shaded powder with a light face powder. I like to mix the two together, tap off the excess, then I'll apply it to areas that I want to highlight, so on my chin, then under my nose, under my eyes even. It's just going to help to add some brightness to the face, and I'll just take it across the lids as well. Then take the banana shade on the middle of my forehead very lightly, and then what this is going to do is almost create like an airbrushed finish to the skin. Next is bronzer, and I'll be taking my new fave bronzer. This is the Barbados Babe bronzer from Miss Lynn Cosmetics. It just looks like this. It's quite a small bronzer, but it really does the job and I really like it. For the bronzer brush, I'll be taking the Sigma F25 tapered face brush. I don't even know why I had to look at the handle. All the text has rubbed off. I love this brush. It's so good. If you want to get a discount on it, it's shivonmakeupbiz. But anyway, I'm going into the bronzer in little swirly motions. You can see bronzer flying everywhere. Tap off the excess, and then I'm going to bronze, just starting with my cheeks. You're kind of bronzing in between that contour and your highlight, and then just bringing it up onto the sides of the forehead, the temples. This is really going to add a nice sun-kissed glow to the skin. And then I'll take a little bit under my jawline and onto my neck as well. Then whatever's left on the brush, I like to take down on my nose and across my cheeks. This is a personal preference. There's nothing really to do with the flawless finish. I just feel like it makes me look more sun-kissed. For blush, I'll be taking the NYX Baked Blush and Illuminator in the shade Chiffon. I've used this absolutely loads on my channel. It's really pretty and it just makes your cheeks look lovely and healthy. So for the blush brush, I'll be taking the Zoeva 126 Luxe Cheek Finish Brush. This brush is so soft. It's also really nice for bronzer as well. Just going straight into the blusher, loading up my brush, tapping off the excess, and then kind of tapping it on the back of my hand. I always do this with blusher so it's not really intense. Then with a very light hand, I'll just apply this on the centre of my cheek, pulling upwards, just in between that bronzer and the highlight as well. You can go a little bit on the highlight and it will really help to blend it in as well. Then we're going to set all of your hard work into place. I'm going in with a Revolution Pro Fix setting spray, giving it a good old shake and setting the face, closing my eyes. And then I'm going to take my magic hands and fan it dry. It's mainly on the lid I want it dry. I don't really care too much about the rest of the face because what I'm going to do is apply some more highlighter, and because the face is slightly wet, when I apply wet highlighter on top of the wet skin, it will create like an extra layer of luminosity and it just looks so intense. Are you ready? Like intense highlighter? Bam! Like it just makes it look so intense and glowy and beautiful. So I'm going to apply some to the tip of my nose, down the centre of my nose as well, more on the tip of my lip, a little bit above the brows just so it looks nice and luminous all over the skin. And that is my flawless foundation routine. I'm going to do my eyes and my lips and I'll be right back. So this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned some tips today on how to create a full coverage foundation routine for oily skin. I promise you this foundation will last through dancing, through long days at work, through days in London, whatever you want to do, it all lasts, I promise. And I don't find that this breaks me out in any way, shape or form. I really like it and it looks so nice in photos as well, especially in flash photos. It doesn't have any flashback whatsoever. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It would mean the absolute world if you are already a subscriber of my videos. I always forget to mention, but I really do appreciate if you do continue to support me and watch my videos. It doesn't go unnoticed, I promise, and I love reading your comments. I find that the more videos I do, the more like the nicer everybody's comments are, and I just love it. I love reading them. So yeah, definitely comment down below any videos you want me to see, anything like that at all. But definitely reply back. That is the end of this video and I really hope you enjoyed it. I shall see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!